Hello, 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 and welcome back to the StrawHatLucas YouTube channel. It's me, StrawHatLucas. Of course, I'm joined today by the lovely, beautiful vixen of the One Piece community, the historian of the One Piece community, that is Mr. Cube of the Red Sea. How are we doing today, Cube?
Hey man, listen, it's a good timing that you have a historian with you because, dude, I think we're just reading history in the making. History. We're now. I feel like we're Robin right now, and 22 years ago, we
Reading
know
the
stuff that we should
Poneglyphs.
know. Yeah, we know stuff that we shouldn't be able to. We shouldn't know.
Give me 1 second. I am going to adjust the opacity on the reaction overlay so you guys can see the chapter just a little bit better. Not enough for Shoeisha to come after me, though.
Yeah.
So, as always, Cube has read the chapter and the spoilers. I have not read any spoilers. I have no idea what's going to happen in this chapter. I assumed we'd be done after last chapter with God Valley, so we'll probably get a little bit more in this, then probably cut back to Elbaf with some Herald stuff, is my last predictions before we dive in today. Yeah. Let's see.
Oh.
These little foxes on the color spread are adorable.
Yeah. I won't lie. I do feel like in this flashback, there's definitely going to be a Loki will be similar to Vivi or some other stuff, but I won't lie. Especially now, the way they're drawing Yamato in the cover art, I do feel like Oda is going to do the storyline where, like I said, is she going to be a full-fledged Straw Hat? Don't know, but I do think Yamato will be at Laugh Tale to finish the book. And I do feel like, the fact that he's yes, there's Otama and there's I'm gonna call her mature woman. I keep forgetting her name. Shinobi. Don't forget. Remember, I used to call Ashura Dojo for years until I realized it was Ashura Doji. So, but I would give a props to one thing. I think that every character is drawn like another character. Because if you look at Nami, that's Miss Golden Week with the hat and eating. So I'm wondering, like, what are the others? The type of
Luffy looked like he's dressed like Ichigo from Bleach.
Yeah, the funniest is Zoro. I won't lie.
Zoro. Yeah.
I'm wondering what is the rest of the part.
I'm not sure.
Cast, and I don't know what it is, which is interesting. It says
cast off something.
Which I find very interesting because some people have talked about how Domiroversi and some of the stuff that Emu has done is spell casting. Which I find interesting that there's a word cast. Also, it could be cast as a crew cast.
Or cast as in like throwing out a fishing line. There's multiple interpretations here.
Yeah. So like this, since it came late last night, I read it once, but I didn't do the regular thing because I feel like this is a very good chapter. So I will also be reacting as you because there might be some stuff I didn't get the first time around.
Okay.
So I didn't do the regular 3 times reading. So yeah, I thought it would be fun this way.
Chapter 1166, New Tales. The aftermath of the battle. Cough, cough. Did they really break the curse? This is Rox thinking to himself. Roger and Garp are both kind of knocked the hell out. Come on, stay alive. This island is... Damn it, it's too late. Roger, Garp, run. You can't die here. Dude, Rox caring about his rivals, even to the bitter end, is kind of tragic.
This is why I'm telling you that the Blackbeard story, when we're going to get the full story, it's going to be a very sad story because I already said that. The fact that the people that were the most loyal to him, enemies or allies, were there until the end for him and tried to help him as much as possible. Even Whitebeard, was even like he was talking to him, dude, bro, what are you doing? Why are you doing all of that? And the fact that Blackbeard hurt all of their descendants in that way, and then with Whitebeard as well, is such a sad thing. I really think Xebex right now he had a tear every time he saw what Blackbeard was doing because it does show that Xebex, even though he sounds like he's doing crazy stuff like Blackbeard, there's a order to his madness, which Blackbeard there's a bit of disorder. So it is sad, honestly.
Yeah, it really is. Also, shout out Damned One in the chat. What is up? I see you blowing things up. Still need to know more about Maffy and their devil fruit ability. Oh yeah, there's one more thing I wanted to say.
I still believe it's a Logia. I still believe it's a Logia.
What a loser. Garling is such a loser. He has to wait until he's on the brink of death to come for him.
I'm gonna, while you read, I'm gonna drop a meme that people have dropped when this came out. First of all, I did a deep dive on Garling. So just so you know, right now he's supposed to be like end game character, right? He was in the panel. Garling is the only character who's end game. Think about it. Buggy has bigger upskills than him. Every person that he's taken out have 1 HP of battle experience. Xebek, 1 HP. Mjosgard, after he got tortured by the God's Knights, 1 HP.
1 HP.
And he failed. He failed successfully to get rid of his baby mama, which he was able to at least save Shanks. Just saying. Those are the feats of an end of game character, Garling. I do hope that in the last 20, 30, in the last 30 years, he had. I won't be shocked. I do think because of Celestial Dragon, I think it takes him longer for his hockey to become the level of Luffy or some people like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Silver spoon in your mouth and everything. I think it takes him 40 years to reach a point. So I do think he might have been he's like Luffy in Marineford, even though he's much older.
Garling at God Valley. All right, so thanks for stopping me is what Rox wanted to say. How's Rox?
Yeah, the image is in the VC chat. So if you want to check it before we get to the next part.
Yeah, let me see this.
So for those who are wondering, and I'll put it later on in the server, it's basically a meme of Garling in the middle where it says how high will your ceiling go, with characters like Mr. Satan from Dragon Ball and Buggy, and the other one I don't recognize. But yeah, it's funny. But anyways.
Yeah, that's funny as hell. How's Rox? You're worrying about the enemy? I'm your enemy too. Rayleigh, tell me what happened to Rox. He was killed. Oof. Hurry, the island's collapsing. Don't let the pirates escape. Roger's ship is on the move. Fire! This event would leave no mark on the pages of history. The crumbling island was swallowed by the waves and consumed by fog, like curtains closing on a grand stage. That was the essence of the God Valley incident. Let's go, full speed ahead. This is the Roger Pirates escaping.
Yeah.
The silence in the incident's wake lasted only a moment before a massive bolt of lightning split the heavens. And with that, the curtain rose for new tales to unfold.
So, there's something I'm very curious about.
This spread is amazing.
Because I do think like we're gonna get some, you know, we've seen the full event, but I do think we're gonna go back with someone else's perspective on some small parts, you know?
Yeah.
I'm wondering, is Kaido just on left with someone else? Or is he actually flying away from God Valley? Because that's he just got the fruit. He just got the fruit. That would be a crazy feat if he knows already to fly long distance. So I am wondering if it's like, it looks like he's flying away, but what if, you know, he's dragon form on someone else's ship?
Could be.
Just my thought. Yeah.
Still. Hold it in. Just wait till Roger's up. Come on, Captain. I'm dying to open up the treasure chest. Roger. Sorry to worry you guys. I would have laughed though if I would have had him come out with his mustache just to line up with Yeah, we're thrilled. More importantly, check it out. Don't you care about me at all? Shocky's safe and sound. Hee hee. And we scored a ton of treasure to boot. What a great haul. Wah! Oh, here comes Shanks in the treasure chest. The minute I saw the whole, oh, wait until Roger gets up to open the treasure chest, I was like, oh, it's gonna be Shanks in the treasure chest. Let's go. Goo-ga. What the? It's coming from that chest. There's something in there. Open it carefully. Click. Gulp. Huh? A baby? A baby. It's a baby Shanks. Not seeing Summers was enough to give this a 10 out of 10. So he was in the chapter when they took out on the ground old boy, which is crazy to me because, like, how are you gonna come up to someone with 1 HP and be like,
I don't know if you I don't know if you kind of caught it, but basically Scarp and Rady beat up Matthew and Summers because they were the ones over Garp and
Yeah,
Roger, and they, so most likely they beat them up. We just didn't see it.
that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. Anything for Summers' defeat, I'm all for.
Yeah. Shanks has a baby, adorable as always. The Rocks pirates wiped out. Predictably, news coverage was falsified. Only one aspect of the story was highlighted: the heroism of Garp. It says here that the Rocks pirates have been vanquished. Rocks is dead. I knew it. Vice Admiral Garp is the strongest. Garp, he's a hero. Grand Line, Navy HQ. What the hell is this article? Vice Admiral Garp. I can't wait to get my hands on that Morgan's fella. Relax, Garp. He only wrote that stuff because the government paid him off. Man, look at young Sengoku. Let's go. The world government and the Marines are massive organizations. If you count the member nations, armies, the member nations' armies, we're talking about tens of millions of soldiers worldwide. It's impossible to account for everyone's actions and motivations. So if the top brass ever do strike me as insane, I'd simply turn a blind eye to it. Come again? It's just like I said, you're just another promotion chasing fool. Shut up. What good can you do barking from the bottom of the cliff? Hey, you two. If you ever stray and get corrupted, I'll kill you myself. How reassuring. I guess that's what friends are for. I
Just go up.
love this. This is amazing.
Go up a bit. Go up a bit. Because I do think Sengoku, they get a reveal about Sengoku.
What's that?
You see, okay, so this part. I find it very... No, go back. No, where you were perfectly. The world government and the Marines are a massive organization, right? If you don't count the nation's army, we're talking about tens of millions of soldiers worldwide. It's possible to account for everyone's action and motivation. So if the top brass ever strike me as insane, I'll certainly turn a blind eye to it.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if this is his motivation why he wanted to become Fleet Admiral. Think about it. He's saying we can't do anything as lower. So I'm wondering if around that time that's when he's realized. Because remember, we're 20 to 30, 20 at O'Hara, he's called Admiral. So right now, I think he's still a Vice Admiral.
Yeah.
So it could be the motivation of whatever Sengoku decided to become Fleet Admiral. Then his whole thing of Corazon, which I said that there's more to him to just become a Fleet Admiral. Like he realized he had to be in a certain high position to do certain changes. Yeah. I'm wondering if this is the moment that he started to get that.
To realize, yeah. I see what you're stepping in.
Yeah, sorry.
Really?
I thought it was interesting.
No, you're good. No, that is interesting. A little bit of motivational reveal in a way. It's just like I said. You're just another... Oh, I already read that. So you're not quitting then, Garp? Idiot. There are still things at the bottom of that cliff that need a guard dog. Ooh. I'm loving Garp. Elbaf, the new world. Where? You again? I ain't letting you on my ship. How many times do I gotta tell you, Pipsqueak? You think I would have brat on my crew? Oh, poor Loki, dude. He's been through so much. What is this? The guy I want ain't giving me the time of day. But his snot-nosed brat won't leave me alone. Hey, Rocks, I think you're Nika. Whoa! What? Nika. The warrior of liberation who will destroy the world while laughing. Destroy it? I'm aiming to be king of the world. Besides, if anyone's got that sort of power, it's Harold. Huh? Oh man, this is kind of crazy. Listen up, Loki. Somewhere out there, the Galley Law are slumbering. They're an outrageous band of ravagers, and the only one who can put them back into play is your pops. I'm gonna continue to rally the rogues of the world. So just imagine if Harold and I teamed up. Who could possibly stop us then? Wow, that's awesome. So why aren't you and Pops allies already? Because of love.
So there's something interesting.
What's that?
About the Galida. You know how we think that the Roger Pirates are a former candidate for Joyboy crew, right? Because Roger was a candidate for Joyboy, right? If Ors was a Joyboy candidate because of the way he reacted to Luffy's foot in Thriller Bark, what if Galila was their versions of back then of the Joyboy crew?
Oh, could
The way
be.
he's describing them. Like, think about it, the only people they talk that way is Luffy's crew. So there's been every iteration in different cycles of the Joy Boy crew. What if it's a version of them where all of them were iced up, the
Hmm.
survivors?
Ooh, I like that.
So, yeah.
Like after their captain was taken care of, they froze the rest of them, kind of thing.
It would explain why Galilei Company with like Iceberg inherited the Pluton stuff. It would make sense that it was the former Joybird crew. They fell at something, so they knew that it would be a different era.
Yeah.
So they prepare, they hide the stuff and those kind of stuff. Just a food for thought, but yeah.
No, yeah, I see what you're saying. So just imagine if Harold and I teamed up. Who could possibly stop us then? Wow, that's awesome. Because of love, I read this. But I'm gonna come back again and again. I don't care if it takes 100 or 200 meetings.
Dude, don't you find it's
Oh.
interesting that statement? 100, 200 meetings. I first read this as what I read it as. I don't care if it takes 100 or 200 meters. The writing is, so I said I'm wondering if
Yeah.
there's a parallel to the 200 meters of water.
You
know?
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying now. I'm giggling at the size of that newspaper in Loki's hand. I'm not gonna lie, that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, dude, it's funny. It's cute.
It's a vicious assault. King Harold of Elbath is on a certain island. Have any civilians been harmed? No. He attacked another giant, some thug. It's quite a brutal scene. You still don't get it. I understand, really. I'm sorry. I'll never steal from humans again. You don't get it. None of you do. Huge trash heaps like you are responsible for the terrors in our race's history. And that's why we can't be trusted. We only desire to peacefully engage with the world now, but they can't trust that. Your Highness, he's already out cold. I didn't want to jeopardize Elbaf's chances of rejoining the world government. That was my only reason for not helping him. But it doesn't feel like luck's on my side anymore, Harold. Ooh, lend me a hand. I forsook my closest friend as he begged me for aid. I left him to die. Ooh! 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 Harold, no, Bubba! No! Oh! Oh, that's just not nice. That is terrible. Ooh, that does not feel good in my heart. Ah. There's no turning back now. I will never, ever forgive a giant who does evil. Giant King loses it. Navy headquarters. Underground detention cell. Oh, shit. Tap. Dad, I'm gonna quit the Marines. Okay. And you? I despise you. Okay. Ooh! And Garp gave him the key to get out. Harold. I've made up my mind, Ida. Elder Yarul. I don't care about appearances anymore. Hajrudin, Loki. You are both my precious sons. I want you to get along when I'm gone. And do what you can to support Elbaf. Marine Ford Navy HQ. That ship's from Elbaf. What? My apologies, King Harold, but my superiors have ordered me to not let you land. High-ranking Marines and leaders of the world government, I ask that you please hear me out. Holy shit! Oh my god!
Yep.
Allow me to atone for the sins of the past 1,000 years. I apologize for every wrong the giant race has committed. The children of Elbaf are being raised to live without harming others, so that one day they may walk hand in hand with humanity. I do all this to prove our unwavering commitment to peace. I'll do whatever it takes to atone for our sins, even if it means becoming a slave. Is there a light at the end of this tunnel? No break next week. The words Harold screaming, resonating with Emu. Wow. What a chapter to come back on, man.
Yeah, I won't lie to you. I think this is the best part of. Even though if we got God Valley, this is the best part for me. I think it's giving us so much answers.
It really is. Dude, and him breaking down about what had happened to Rox, and Rox coming to him and begging for help, and he turned his friend down, as he said. That is heartbreaking to see how much Rox meant to Harold, because like obviously it was obvious that they enjoyed each other's company, they were friends, but to see just how much it meant to Harold, and for Harold to break in the manner that he did over Rox's death is just heartbreaking, man. It was very, very well done. I'm so glad that Oda's leaning more into his emotional bag here lately, because every time he does, it is just such a pleasure.
Yeah. So I won't lie to you. There's some stuff that are quite interesting.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I think if people want more proof that Dragon is the son of Garp, I don't know what you need. That now he literally called him dad. So
Yeah, and Dad, I hate you.
yes. There's a few things. So I do feel like the motivation of Sengoku, what's it called? There was something. So can you go back to Roger when he wakes up?
Yeah.
And tell me if you have the same thought as me, because I do feel okay. This part, okay. Okay, so the island just disappeared, right?
Yes.
Like black cloud just appeared, right? Okay, you ready? Yeah, the black clouds. Okay, this is what he says. Sorry to worry you guys. And then it's almost like a singing tune. Yeah, we're thrilled. More probably check it out, right?
Yeah.
It did give me the vibe that Oda's giving a nod to Thriller Bark. I don't know why. That was the thought I had. Just before that, you see the darker.
Well,
because you did find some similarities between both islands, and I am wondering if that's why again we have to wish for the visit, of course. But I thought it's interesting.
Of course, but I was thinking about Kube and I had been discussing the idea of the Void Century being tied to the Florian Triangle, and maybe the fog having something to do with these islands disappearing, and maybe that's where the islands are going and stuff like that. But the way that this is described, the crumbling island was swallowed by the waves, and then ellipses and consumed by the fog. I need to see that in the officials as well, because with the thoughts of the fog consuming what's left of the island and potentially carrying it to the Florian Triangle.
Yeah, and for other people, there's also another nod with Lulusia, because when we first introduced the Emu, and obviously we didn't know at the time to talk about Lulusia, they said, which light do you want us to extinguish? And Sulabark is in full darkness. Yeah. So it kind of makes you think that this is how the islands find themselves in the Florian Triangle. But yeah, it was a thought when he used the term thrilled. But again, we have to wait for the officials, because
Of course. Yeah, this is a good fucking chapter. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like this tidied things up within the God Valley portion of the flashback. What I'm really waiting to see now, though, is just how we tie it all up with Harold. Like I said, I think that the reason Oda showed us this God Valley flashback first is to kind of show the parallels between Harold and Rox. That, Harold will end up flipped, and that'll probably be why he dies, with Loki being the only one to hear his voice. But what are you thinking?
I'm convinced with what Xebec said at the beginning, that Domiroverse is the same thing as the Elfwoods. It's the same thing. Mm-hmm. A shadow left their bodies, and what's interesting enough, we saw with Buggy, who split apart. His whole body inside is made of shadows. Yeah. And then in Thriller Bark, you have this whole thing about how a shadow connects to someone's personality. Like I told you, like the traits that you get from someone's shadow is the same traits as the Elfwood user gets. A fighting style, with obviously an ability, sure, but also a quirkiness that comes with it. Yeah. So I am convinced that I think Devilfoot is Joy Boy or Nika's version of Domiroverse. Mm-hmm. It chooses the people. It doesn't force the people.
Yeah. It gives them the opportunity to choose to be part of the game instead of forcing them to be part of the game.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if you caught with Matthew. Look at the Matthew's coat like that. And the laugh. Does that make you think of someone else?
Yeah, Don Quixote do Flamingo.
Yeah.
So is Maffy part of the Doflamingo family? Find out next time. No.
I mean, it could be a retainer because remember I told you, that's why I'm going with it. I said the only person, the way they talk to Matthew, the politeness, stuff like that, the only celestial that we know of that speak in that matter is Homing, Doflamingo's father.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm wondering if the Matthew family, because I don't know if Matthew's his first or last name, but maybe the Matthew family could be retainers, you know? Because I've said this, I don't think it's just, it's like think of Wano, right? There was one shogun for 5 daimos, but then 4. It could be that there are different branch families that connect to one celestial dragon family. With, you know, like I said, the Roswell family being the highest rank, that's why Mjosgard committed a big crime, you know?
I can't get over how tragic Rox's death is. Like, and then him being like, when we see him here, that the curse was broken on him in these last few moments before Garling took him out. Because if you look, his teeth are not like sharpened anymore. He doesn't have, he's back to normal as they come to end his life.
Yeah, also, I'm still keeping my agenda. The sword that Shamrock has, because it's almost identical, is Zebex's sword. The fact that, you know, Garling, the father, is the one who took him out at the end.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely could be. The Cerebus is Rox's sword as well.
Yeah, you know, he used an abyss ability. Another word for abyss is the underworld. Who guard the underworld? The Cerberus. So, it is interesting.
Cook, baby.
So, first of all, to go up a bit again, I want to know what happened to Whitebeard. Well, whose ship Whitebeard is?
I was wondering that as well. Same with
Big Mom. Maybe, no, Marco's father. Yeah, Polo. I forgot Polo.
Oh yeah, Polo Graham.
Yeah.
But no, I'm wondering who Big Mom is selling with at the moment.
Remember, she left with her own ship. Remember, we saw the
her and
Kaido?
Strusen. Yeah.
They were leaving. Kaido is the one. I won't lie to you. I'll be honest with you. I think Kaido left with Shiki.
Could be. Kaido could have been included. Yeah, Kaido could have colluded with Shiki in some way or another after the Rock Spires dissolved. Because we don't know exactly what Shiki did in those 20 years before his 20-year plan came together. And plus, that film is not canon. We just know that he had a plan, and Kaido could have been fully part of that plan in the canon material.
Also, think about it. The time of the plan would have been at the time after his big defeat. And if I'm very interested, that Kaido makes a move on Wano after Shiki's defeat. Remember? He came 28 years ago, right, to Wano the first time. Shiki gets his big defeat 28 years ago during the Ed Wars.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Even the timing I feel like Kaido wasn't ready to lead his own crew. Like, he had mentioned it slightly here in the God to Valley flashback, but I still think he was just too naive and young to lead a crew. And he definitely got caught and put into Punk Hazard at some point after this, right?
Yeah, I still believe he made a deal with the Mats.
World government.
He offered himself. Think about it. He's offered himself. He does all of those stuff. No one does the Force stuff. I wouldn't be shocked that the numbers for research on his body. You know, because he did say he made a deal to get the numbers from Punk Hazard. Yeah. I do not believe after he escaped he returned there to get the numbers. So it could be like and we never saw how King and Kaido then disappeared. They just saw them destroying everything. It could be he also took the numbers with them. You know, with you know, it's just a food for thought. But yeah. Now you know what I mean by I told you that anything I tell you will be too spoilery. So the visible God Valley Island is the only thing I could think of.
Yeah, this was such an insane chapter from start to finish.
Yeah.
I need to know more, though. I need to know what's going on with Harold next chapter. That's definitely, like, I'm glad that we're getting back to the Elbaf shit, because this means we'll probably be getting back to the main story sooner than later. I'm thinking probably 2 or 3 more chapters for the whole flashback, if I'm being honest. I feel like most of this flashback will be the God Valley shit.
For me, we're gonna go back to the present time in 2026. We don't have that many chapters until the end of the year.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like that's why I was thinking like maybe 4. You know what I mean? Like every chapter in December will be this, and then we'll see the Straw Hats again in January of 2026. First chapter of 2026.
So basically, okay, we're 1 month away from Christmas, right?
Yeah.
There's usually 2 chapters at this time of the year, and 2 chapters a month, and 2 break weeks.
Yes.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And so let's say, we are most likely, so we definitely have 2 chapters left, possibly a third chapter, because 31st. We're 22, 20, 29. So yeah, we would be getting 3 chapters left, I think. Yeah. If he doesn't do the thing where instead we'll get 3 chapters at the end of the year, so then we'll have 4 chapters away. But I do feel like he's gonna skip over to the 20 years pretty soon, then the 14 years.
Yeah.
And then we're out of it.
Well.
So
I think so.
I think that the last panel will be something that Loki will say at the end of when we get back to present time. He likes to do that. I'm suspecting that we'll get a reveal of something with Loki and stuff like that. But yeah. But I won't lie. Well. I really want now Loki to be some more involved with the crew, because now there's a reason.
I've said it since his reveal, man. Loki for NAKAMA. Yeah. I've been saying it since he came out.
Yeah, but dude, it's not that. It's not that. I'm not talking. Everyone does that all the time. I'm talking about. For years, people have been talking about Blackbeard and Luffy having some interaction other than fighting, but people want more from it. Having someone think about the similar thing. Yamato's connection to Odin changed so much stuff. When the moment we got the Odin stuff. And that's why and with Ace as well. Luffy doesn't connect to people because they're enemies or because later on they become friends. It's usually to another person. Best example is the same thing with other Straw Hat members. Hachan, right? To find out about what Arlong did, he befriended Hachan, who wasn't that bad. He did some, he was part of a horrible group, but he didn't do that bad. And it opened up to Inami knowing how Hachan was, and then Jinbei, she was so shocked that she wanted to know about, and then she understands better. I do think that you need Loki. If the editors of Straw Hats are going to take any interest in what Blackbeard would ever say to them. Why would Loki
using him as the bridge between Luffy and Blackbeard? Yeah, see, I
see him Grand Fleet, but
that's what I was going to say. When we first met, Loki, I said there's a lot of parallels to when Luffy met the first Straw Hat that he had joined the crew, Zoro, with him being crucified and everything. And I do see a lot of parallels there in like how he could potentially be an actual full-fledged member of the Straw Hats. But at the same time, I think that it'll be more thematically appropriate if he becomes the second leader of the new Giant Warrior Pirates alongside Hajiruden and becomes part of the Straw Hat Grand Fleet, because it would show the mending of 2 brothers who have been at odds for the better part of 14 years now, or however long ago Harold passed away. Like,
I won't lie. Yeah, I won't lie. The way we saw Loki 14 years ago, he was much different. It's the way he grew up. So I wouldn't be shocked that in the next 24 years, the relationship got a bit better. Loki kind of, became more sociable to people. Still, still a mischievous person, but some people think the way Ja Rule was talking to him, he wasn't hating on him. So I do think it just.
Who do we think?
I was going to say.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, and I was also going to say about the whole. You say Zoro. People keep saying that they're parallel to Zoro. I can see the chain up stuff, but I won't lie to you. The way Loki is interacting with Luffy is an inversion to Jinbei. They team up. They meet each other chained up. He knows someone that Luffy knows. He uplifts Ace. Loki insults Shanks. Yeah. We're getting some sort of, now we didn't get a real flashback with Jinbei, but we're getting Jinbei's version of how everything went through, and it's talking about someone else, just like Loki. And when the person's unchained, what does the other person, Jinbei Loki, offered? Use me to fight against the Marines, against the world government.
Exactly.
Like, it's crazy. So the Zoro one, I do see it. There's some similarity, but you see with Jinbei is crazy, similar.
And then, because instead of it being, use me, fight against the world government, this is going to be a fight against the world. And as we saw, Rock straight said to Emu, called Emu the world. And we know that Loki's goal is to destroy the world. Like, I don't know. I feel like this is an in-game Straw Hat. This is like, because like you ask yourself, who could they add to the fucking crew that would actually be able to step up and be on the level that they need them to be? Right here, Loki. Loki is in-game level crew right here.
I would like to. I always said that Yamato. I see Yamato joining the crew at one point.
Yeah, I could see that as well.
An actual Grand Fleet. The problem is the way the dynamic is. I don't think Yamato would be at all the. It's we're at the end game. You know what I mean? Almost at the end game.
Yeah, exactly.
It would it would be too much stuff. I could see that Loki, Hydrogen, and Yamato will be more in missions together.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. So, give me your final thoughts and rating on this chapter, brother.
So for me, this is a 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10?
Because, and I'll explain why. So obviously, we've got all the fight stuff that's already happened. What I like is the payoffs. Literally, we've been getting a build-up. Like, this is literally, if we didn't get this chapter, we would have had so much question about the end of God Valley. This gives us so much answers. Sengoku and Garp, what happened to Dragon? I don't know if Dragon really like quit at that time because of, I've said this. It doesn't that Kaino and him were both Marines together the way he talks about him, so it's kind of weird. But also, I won't lie to you. I do like this idea that someone brought it up yesterday. What if we're 30 years right now? Yeah. We know Akainu joins in 5 years. What if the next 5 years he joined with other people? One of them is Akainu. And then Akainu basically joins the Marines because of whatever happened to him and Dragon. It's it's like he decided not to trust Dragon, and so everything that Dragon said about the Marines, don't go there, those kind of stuff, he even started to doubt that. You know what I mean? It's a bit like when you have an issue with a certain family member, right? And your whole life you've never agreed with that person, so you're gonna be contrary to everything they do because you assume that they're again capping about that.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying entirely. I think that the Dragon Akainu thing could too potentially, like, maybe Akainu was gonna be in the revolutionaries with him, like you were saying, and then when whatever happened between them happened, he realized, oh no, it's the Marines that are the right, not Dragon, and what he's saying, kind of thing. I don't know. I feel like we're gonna get something really spicy between Dragon and Akainu in the future for sure. Yeah. So you said 10 out of 10. I like a lot about this chapter. I think the way that Oda really put out here with Rox's final moments and the terrifying image of 3 holy knights approaching him, I think is really, really well done. And like you said, the parallels between Doflamingo and Maffy is there's no denying them at all.
And look at the scene. I'm sorry. Look at Summers, look at Garling, and look at Maffy. Doesn't it give you like a weird version of the monster trio of pre-time skip? Luffy with Maffy, the smile. Guarding, give dead away for Sanji's face, and then Summers having the grim face of Zoro. It's very interesting, but sorry.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying. I really like how Oda set up this page, though, and then going into the rest of the chapter, seeing everyone escape God Valley, seeing a slight look of relief on little Blackbeard's face is just such a nice touch compared to how we saw him the last time he was in that position with the look of fear and a total just dread. I was glad to see tiny baby Blackbeard in a slightly better place at the end of the chapter. Seeing Shanks in the treasure chest, beautiful. We all knew it was coming. Really cool to see. Like you said, the Sengoku stuff is really spicy. It kind of gives you what his motivations are entirely. He's going up so that he can protect those at the bottom of the mountain, and he wants to keep Garp in the same position that he wants him in. You know what I mean? Like, you can tell that Garp and Sengoku are playing some kind of chess that none of us are aware of.
I won't lie. I think it's more Sengoku. This makes me really. This interaction shows me very much that Garp might have been most likely as part of that plan, but I think he's just a piece to it. He's the term useful idiot in a way. It's horrible to say that, but it does makes me feel like that way. The fact that he's not even getting that with, I think Sengoku, and again Sengoku is very smart. He's not going to include someone who is not made for it, and I think he's gonna find a way to use his friend without telling him the actual thing. I think it's there where
Exactly.
he's realizing I have to become much higher. Like even Garp, when he tells all of that, he says, "Oh, you're just one of those people who are trying to climb up the ladder pole." He
Yeah.
doesn't get it. So it does make me think that I think Garp might is a part of the sword stuff, but I really don't think that Garp might know that the people he's fighting with is sword, maybe.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I really enjoyed the stuff with Rox and Loki. I really think it's going to reflect what Blackbeard's goal is as well. You know, a lot of us have theorized for years now that his goal is to be king of the world over being king of the pirates because of the plays he was making. And I think that this is a very kind of soft, in my opinion, like kind of a soft, what's the word I'm looking for? That confirmation. It's kind of a soft confirmation of that. If Rox is, or if Blackbeard is a reflection of Rox, then it would make sense they share that same goal. And we didn't know whose will that Blackbeard was carrying on, and now it seems that Davy Jones, Rox, is that answer. Especially with him saying he wants to gather a rally, a group of rogues of the world. You know what I mean? Like that's very much Blackbeard, and I really like. Oh, go ahead.
And for me, it could be possibly Davy Jones, but the one thing I'm really sure of after this flashback, Blackbeard doesn't have his father's will.
You don't think so?
No, if you think about how they talk to people with similar wills, like Yamato with Odin, right? And Momo does have something with Odin as well.
Mm-hmm.
And you do kind of see in their action those kind of stuff. Think of Luffy, what they keep saying about Luffy.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's almost like it's Roger. Look at it. Yes, they're doing the chaotic stuff, sure. But if you think about it, the motivation will be different. The way he views people and those kind of stuff. This kind of tells me that he definitely has a will of someone. Maybe of a Davy clan, but I don't think it's Zebex. I think we're going to find out that Loki is the one who inherited Rox as well.
It could be.
Yeah, Loki is the one. Which would be interesting, but yeah.
And if he becomes a Straw Hat, then it's a Straw Hat sitting on top of the world government as well. Let's go. Anyway.
Grand Fleet, man. You're going to see Grand Fleet there. And it'll be fun. Anyways, I'm liking Loki. It's giving me more hype for Loki, because I won't lie. I found Loki interesting, but I had more intriguing stuff. Now it's very interesting.
No, it's very interesting, yeah. I also really like the stuff with Harold and seeing him break down from Loki. Of course, the stuff between Garp and Dragon. I feel like we're going to get more on that whole interaction right there. Probably when we get Dragon's backstory. But yeah, overall, I think this chapter, especially with the way that it ended, solid 10 out of 10. I think you're 100% right. I think this is probably going to be the last 10 out of 10 of the year. Unless he goes fucking insane in the next chapter or so. But yeah, I think this is a solid chapter.
And also, do you know what's interesting? This gives us more context of Dragon abandoning Luffy with this flashback as well. It doesn't look like, think about it, the way Dragon talked to him and how Garp just let it slide. He didn't care. He didn't even felt insulted. And it kind of makes me think I think that Garp, listen, we've said that it's debatable with Ace, but yes, like it's because Ace was a pirate. But it does seem that Garp and Luffy was well brought up by Garp and Dan. Luffy and Ace were well brought up by, I do think that it's because I don't think he was a great father to Dragon. And I think this is why, Dragon doesn't know how to be a father, because he didn't have a good, an actual father there. The way he's reacting and the way that Garp just let it slide, like, it almost feels like Garp is just not sick of it, but it's not the first time that he's insulted him.
Yeah.
He knows that his son doesn't appreciate him.
Yeah. Or he knows that this isn't the life that his son needs to be living. Kind of like him accepting Luffy's dream to be king of the pirates.
Yeah, no, but more like
that means stopping him, kind of thing.
They've already had those arguments many times. So him saying, I'm now leaving the Marines, those kind of stuff, it doesn't feel like it's something new. And him saying, I hate you, and just looking down. It kind of makes me think of a Legend of Korra when Toph reunites with her daughters, and Lin kind of yelled at her.
I know what you're talking about.
Because she knows that she messed up, and it's not the first time she brought it up, she says, "So be it." And you can see she's sad, but she just doesn't know how to be a great mother for Liv.
Yeah.
That's what it gave me the vibe of, you know. So
that's what I'm saying too. Is that I think
he's
that
never had a father.
I see. I don't know if it's that though. I think it's more of he doesn't know how to be the right dad for Dragon specifically.
I'm talking about Dragon to Luffy. Because of that relationship, he doesn't know actually how it is to be a father. He's admitting what Garp did, and maybe Garp abandoned him all the time for his missions and was never there for him. So for him, the best way to save him is what he knows.
Yeah, just stay away. Yeah, I see what you're saying, brother. All right, anything else you got to say about this wonderful chapter before we call it tonight, brother?
Oh, dude. Well, I'm just bracing myself for the Herald slander for the end of the chapter because many people don't have that critical thinking. They're gonna be bashing our man.
Please, learn reading comprehension. It's one of the best things you can do for your One Piece experience, as Oda says. I'm. Oh my God, he's crying over Rox D. Zebek. What is this guy, his friend or something? Like I can already see that. I can already see the arguments now. But yes, I've been StrawHatLucas, of course. Thank you again, Q, for joining me as always with these little chapter reactions and discussions. Love having you on, brother. Love doing these with you. We've been doing these together for 3 years almost now. And it's crazy to think about. But yeah, everyone out there, have a good night. And we will see you next week because there's no break this week. Thank goodness. So we will see you next Friday right here at 6 p.m. EST to read one more chapter of One Piece, of course. Bye.